So what good things are we talking about? We are talking about sampling, but taking away bias. So we're talking about the idea of random sampling, specifically random sampling and simple random sampling. So the objective for this video is that we are going to describe how to obtain a random sample, whether it's pieces of paper, technology, or from our random digit table. So let's get started. Go to your notes, page 3. So as we look at page 3 at the bottom, pretty sure it's page 3, is it? Yes, yes, yes. Okay, what is the idea of random? Well, we know random is choosing something by chance to determine who is going to be a part of our sample. And it is important that bias is taken away because remember, we take random samples and we make conjecture about the entire population. Now, as we look at this, I just talked about regular random sample, but there's a special one, and it's referred to as the SRS. You'll see that quite often, and that is called a simple random sample. And if you notice, when we first started this video, it had something that looked like, why does it look like a science experiment, Yarbrough? Well, it's not. This is a simple random sample. And as I stated, everyone has an equal chance of being chosen. So let's say all of these dots represent students in my class. And let's say I am going to go around and see whose homework I'm going to check. So I put your names in a hat. And the 5 names, or the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 names that I chose are the ones whose homework I checked. Or I could do things in a different way. I could choose them by putting things in the calculator or use a random digit table, which takes me to how can I choose? Well, remember I said put names in a hat, that's one. Okay? Or I can do it with technology. Now, if I do it with technology or a random digit table, I have to label, give everybody a number. That's the first step. And then I have to randomize. Oh, randomizing is using the technology and the random digit table. So let's look at technology first. So as I turn on my calculator and I clear what's here, I need to find random integers on our calculator, as you can see right there. So as I try to slide up, I'm going to have to go to catalog. And I'm sorry I can't show both. So second catalog, and then you see the words. That's our entire catalog or calculator. And then what do? I need to just press the letter R, and the letter R is right above, where is it? Right above the X. And you notice it says random integer, and then you're going to slide down, and then you're going to press enter, and then we're going to put in our desired numbers. But now that we know where it is, let's just wait till I get to the example so that we can put it in our calculator. The next thing that I want to talk about here is the random digit table. So it is in the back of your book on page T5. So I would start from the back and then go forward. And the random digit table is right here. And again, in a minute, we're going to just jump into an example so we can see how to use this. One thing I wanted to mention about the random digit table is the only reason for the separation is just because instead of having just a bunch of list of numbers that drives your eyes crazy, and the same for the color coordination is again so your eyes don't go batty. Now, I'm going to do things a little backwards. So instead of doing the notes first, what I'm going to do right now is to jump into an example, and then I'm going to rewind and talk about the notes. So go to the bottom of your page 4. Go ahead and read this. Okay, so the goal here is to see how we're going to select a random sample of high school students to answer the question about how much do you trust the information about health on the internet. So our key here is that we want to explain how I'm going to choose the random digit table. So They want us to take an SRS of 5 students. So my step 1 is I'm going to number 40 of the students. Okay? And the numbers are going to be 0, 1 to 40. Yes, that 0 is necessary because one of the AP errors is that students just put 1 to 40. Well, 1, when you put in a 1 digit, that's a 10% chance, whereas the 2 digits, there is a 100. Well, 1 digit versus 2 digits. Yeah, choosing one digit number, you've got a 10% chance. Choosing 1 2-digit number, you've got a 1 out of 100% opportunity for it to happen. So, okay, so going back to my point here. Now, here I need to number the students 0, 1 to 40. I'm going to tell you where I'm going to start on the random digit table. Okay. I don't want any repeats. Why do I want no repeats? Because once I selected a student, I can't use them twice, or I can't clone them. They cannot represent 2 people. So there are no repeats, because remember, each of these represent a person. Numbers I'm going to omit. Well, when I look at the random digit table, and you'll see this in a minute, I'm only going to use the numbers 0, 1 through 40. So that means I'm going to omit the 00 and any other 2-digit numbers that are not specified here. And then I'm going to stop when I get to the 5th student. Okay? And I mentioned the AP, I wrote it down here for myself just to remind you, or remind myself, I should say. Make sure use 2 digits. If you're going to use 2-digit numbers, which you have to, because the number of people are 2 digits, you got to do it consistently. So let's go to the next page. Now the first thing that I said that I need to do is take all these students and label them. It doesn't matter if you label them going across or horizontally or vertically. I'm just choosing to go vertical. No other reason other than I want to. Okay, and here it is. Next, I'm starting at 107. So, please recognize here, I need the digits 0, 1 to 40. So, I can see you're going to, I'm trying to use my stylus so it's not so bad. So, I'm not going to do 82, not going to do 73, not going to do 95, not going to do 78, not going to do 90. Finally, I have the number 20. Not 80, not 74. And you see how I'm going across the line. Not 75. Finally, I have number 11. So, and let me show you a cleaner copy because this is a hot mess, I know. Okay, so here they're written down, and like I said, remember, well, I didn't say this because I said I'm going backwards. The idea of skipping, omitting, etc. These numbers I skipped. Why? Right. There's not a person there's not an 82nd person. No one had the number 82 allocated to them. But here are the numbers that were. Oh, the 00. There was no person with the 00 allocation either. So here are the 5, because they asked me to find the first 5. And then after I've done that, then I go back and look, okay, so who is number 20? Oh, it is, where'd you go? Johnson. Who is number 11? And I just do the rest of them. So just reminding you of, why did I skip number 82? Where do you see an 82 here? Okay. And also, please keep in mind that once I've highlighted them, they can't be chosen again. So now, with all of that being said, I want to go back. So go back to the prior page, page 4, and let's add to those notes. And I want it to be clear in the clear in this before I go to those notes. So who's going to be selected? Johnson, Dryson, Washburn, Ryder, and Callaway. Okay, so now let's go back. So let's talk about these notes that I have going on here. Okay, when should we ignore or omit? So we should omit numbers that are not on the list. Okay, so like I said here, if you've got 10 people, who's the 11th and the 12th person? Oh, they're not on the list. You didn't make it. Okay, we should ignore any repeats or duplicates. I didn't get any when I did that list, but what if I had the number 11 again? Well, once chosen, you're not re-chosen, unless it's the lottery, of course. Okay, which takes me to, when is it okay to repeat or not repeat? Here, it's not okay to repeat when you're selecting the person for an experiment or for a job or for a club. But it is when you're doing a simulation, which honestly we're going to get there sooner or later, but when you're doing a simulation that is dealing with percentages, not when you're doing a simulation to choose somebody, but when you're looking at a percentage, it represents a percent, not a person, and that's the only time. So here, I was going to, and which I still will, I'm going to show you this. I want you to put in this example. Okay, so no, this is not in your book. Sorry, Teacher's Edition. So as we can see here, you have a management company. Well, take a minute to read it. Okay, so you've got a management company. They have 24 stores that are in their local mall, and they want to survey 3 of them to determine if they would like to stay open during the holiday hours. So basically, whatever decision they make, it's going to be a decision made for all 21 stores. So that takes us to, how do we handle the problem? Well, we use that table D that was in the back. They started at line number 101, and you can refer back to that page. And we're going to do an SRS just like we did for the example to select 3 stores. So step 1 is to label all of the stores. And that takes us to step 2. After you've done step 2, you're going to be using your random digit table just like we did a minute ago to find out which 3 are going to be selected. Oh, before we do that, what else do we have to do? We have to see who are what numbers we omit and what numbers we omit. Well, we omit any numbers that are 22 to 99 and 00. And then we have to make sure, well, no duplicates are acceptable. Why? Once chosen for the survey, I don't want your opinion twice. It's not that serious. Now I'm doing this really fast because it's 6:25, and why am I still here? I don't know. Okay, so go to the back where your random digit table is. They have the store. You're starting at line 101. Here are the stores selected. You have the 19. The 22 is skipped because there is no 22nd store. 39 is skipped. Again, no store, no store, no store. Oh, Carter's is represented as store number 5. No store, no store, no store. And finally, Mrs. Fields. Okay, so that is how you use this. And I know I'm not showing you the random digit table. I'm just trying to expedite this so I can go home. Now, the last example I want to give, which is on page 5 of your notes, okay, number 14. And they're asking us to do it again, explain how we're going to use the calculator or the random table of digits to choose an SRS. So, we're talking about sampling gravestones. Okay, creepy. Okay, so here we go. For us in the random digit table, I already have random digit in there. Now, if you notice, they had 55,914 gravestones, and I have 395. That's going to be my sample. So they want me to choose the first 3. Okay, good job. Okay, but how would I do this if I had to randomly select 395? Well, you know that I have to give a numerical allocation to all 55,000 of those gravestones. And if I did that, and I put it in the calculator, I'm going to go 1, comma, 55914, then comma. Now, I can sit there and just press 1, maybe not because I put a comma in there. So let me get rid of that. Let me delete that. And it's going to give me, okay, tombstone 30,663. Oh, here's tombstone 45,546. Oh, here's tombstone 29,797. Seriously, I've only done 3. They want 395. Okay, so that takes us to how we would do this regardless. So let's clear. Let's clear. Let's go to, I'm going to go second entry just because it's easier. Second entry, remember, brings back the entry, the prior entry. And here I've got the first tombstone numbered 1, the last one numbered 55,914, then comma, and I'm going to have it give me a list of 395. So I'm going to type in 395, and then I'm going to press enter. Now this is going to take a few, because you can see right here, it's thinking about it. Oh, didn't take that long at all. So how many? They want the first 3 that they've asked us to list. So the tombstone that is listed, 37,415, that's one of them. Okay, here's the second one, 47,552. And then the last one, wait for it. Oh, the one that's just labeled 4,982. Now that's how we do it in our calculator. And if you want to take a moment to look at and to write down as I go through this one very fast. Oh, this is going to be faster, but here I'm going to do the same thing, except I'm going to use here, you can see by color coding, table D. So what am I going to omit? I'm going to omit any 5-digit numbers that are not between 00001, 00001, and the 55,000. And I know your thoughts are, Miss Yarbrough, didn't you tell us not to do that? Yeah, I did if you're using the random digit table. When you're using the calculator, you can do that. But this is 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And in the calculator, it's okay. But when you're using a table, it's not. So here are my omits. Here are my other omits. Okay, so, or any 5-digit numbers that are not represented within that. Okay, there are no repeats, because why are we going to choose the same grave site twice? Talked about omits, only when using the table. Oh, by the way, I ain't got to worry about omits when it comes to using the calculator, because the calculator takes care of it. Why? Because I put in the values, so therefore the calculator is okay. The calculator does that work for me. So now I want to show you guys another way I did this. Instead of going across, why not go up and down? I can do that as long as I put in writing how I'm going to do this. So here I need to write down somewhere that I vertically chose. Okay, and you finish writing it yourself, but the numbers were selected by going vertically. So you got to tell it on the AP test to tell me, okay, I'm going across. Okay, I'm going vertically. Why'd I go vertically? I'm looking for 5 digits. I've got 5 digits here. So that first line, oh, here's the first one, here's the second one, here's the third one. And how many did I want in the first place? Oh, I'm sorry, let me rewind. Okay, here is the first one, and that is between the values of 1 and 55,914. Done. Here, nope, omit, can't use it. Why? It exceeds that. It's not within the acceptable range of numbers. In other words, I don't have a gravestone that's representing this, that has a numerical representation of 73,676. Oh, here's another one, and here's another one. Okay, so I'm done. So TTFM, ta-ta for now. I need to get out of here before my husband gets even more upset with me. Bye-bye, guys.